Okay, there it is.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear us okay? Hello?
Yes,
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Raymond, sorry, just to confirm, do we have the auditors on for the presentation?
Yes, I see Brent.
You see
Yes, I
Brent?
am
Okay,
here.
great. All right, thanks, Brent. Okay, all right, we're all set. So whenever you're ready, David, we can get things going.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm David Womack, proxy holder for Budget Director Jacques HYIC. We will begin this morning's HYIC meetings with a meeting of the members. Daniel, please call the roll for attendance.
Thank you. Jacques HYIC,
David Womack for Director HYIC.
Brad Lander, Michael Stern for Controller Lander, Adrian Adams, Hector German for Speaker Adams, Adolfo Carrion Jr.,
Nate Bliss for the Deputy Mayor.
Jeffrey Roth.
Yating Liu for DMO Roth.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Daniel. And the first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the members' last meeting. The minutes have been circulated for review. Are there any comments, questions, suggested revisions? Hearing none, call the roll for a vote. Mr. Sherman?
In favor?
Ms. Liu?
In favor?
Mr. Bliss?
In favor.
Mr. Stern?
In favor.
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The resolution approving the minutes hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is the election of an alternate director. Each proxy holder is entitled to elect one alternate director to represent them at the Board of Directors committee meetings. Today, the proxy holder for the City Council Speaker wishes to elect Hector German as alternate director. Mr. German is proxy holder. How do you vote?
In favor?
Mr. German is hereby elected. I would now like to entertain a vote to recess the meeting of the members, which will reconvene following the conclusion of today's Board of Directors meeting. Mr. German, how do you vote?
In favor.
Ms. Liu?
In favor.
Mr. Bliss?
In favor.
Mr. Stern?
In favor.
And I vote in favor of recess. We'll now move on to the meeting of the Audit Committee, which I chair. Good afternoon. David Womack, delegate for Budget Director HYIC and Chair of the Audit Committee of the Hudson Yards Infrastructure Corporation. I will now call to order the meeting. Daniel, please call the roll for attendance.
Jacques HYIC,
David Womack for Director HYIC.
Brad Lander, Michael Stern for Controller Lander, Adrian Adams, Hector German for Speaker Adams, Adolfo Carrion Jr.,
Nate Bliss for the Deputy Mayor.
and Jeffrey Roth.
Yating Liu for DM Roth.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is a resolution to approve the minutes of the committee's last meeting, which have been circulated for review. Are there any questions or corrections? Hearing none, call the roll for a vote. Mr. German?
In favor?
Ms. Liu?
In favor.
Mr. Bliss?
In favor.
Mr. Stern?
In favor.
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The minutes are hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is a presentation by the corporation's controller, Raymond Lee, followed by a presentation by the corporation's independent auditors regarding the corporation's audited financial statements.
Thank you, David. Good afternoon. In front of you, you have the fiscal year 2025 financial statements for the Hudson Yards Infrastructure Corporation. I'll just go over a quick kind of overview of the corporation's financial performance for the year. It was another pretty good year for the corporation. In terms of its revenues, I collected $187 million of tax solvency payments, which is in line with the prior year. $258 million of payments in the year of taxes or pilots, which was $50 million more than the prior year. No district improvement bonuses this year. It was $7 million in the prior year, but these are non-recurring. Similarly, in non-recurring revenues, there's $45 million of payments in lieu of mortgage reporting taxes or pilot mortgage. This was significantly more than prior year, $40 million, and that was primarily from the mortgage on the 66 Hudson Boulevard project. Investment earnings for the year was about $35 million. That's also in line with prior year performance. In terms of expenditures, the corporation spent $15 million related to the Phase 2 Parks project, and this was primarily for costs related to the coordination and construction design. $1 million for Hudson Yards Development Corporations and their operations, and we transferred $394 million of surplus funds to the city. This was $350 million plus the $44 million or so in pilot mortgage that we had received for the year. In addition, the corporation spent $49 million to pay bond principal payments and $117 million in interest payments. One item of note from the balance sheet, in terms of significance, is the corporation booked a $97 million liability for estimable property acquisition payments. This is significantly more than last year because the city has, for the most part, now completed most of its testing appraisals and have a better idea of the future liability for the condemnation proceedings that are ongoing. Some of the claimants have settled, but so far most are still going through those proceedings. In terms of new accounting standards, there were two new accounting standards. One was compensated absences, and one was for risk disclosures, neither of which affected the corporation's financial statements. With that, I'll turn it over to any questions.
One question, $394 million, of course, is a very significant sum back to the general fund. Is that a historic high? Do we know?
It was 325, I think, last year, and then this 350 plus the 40 for the file awards, and then what was budgeted for fiscal 26 is 375. So it was the high for at the time. Yeah.
Thank you.
If no further questions, then I'll turn it over to our auditors. This year we have new auditors, EFPR. EFPR, we have Brent Jensen.
Thank you, Raymond. I'm Brent Jensen. I'm a partner with EFPR Group. And we did prepare a presentation today, but Raymond just went through the financial details, so I don't plan on reiterating all of that. I'm going to really just kind of hit the high points here instead. And if you have any questions, let me know. We expect to issue clean, unmodified opinions on the government-wide financial statements and each of the major funds. They were audited in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and governmental auditing standards, and the financial statements were prepared in accordance with generally accepted auditing principles or accounting principles. Additionally, we are issuing an investment compliance opinion that is also a clean, unmodified opinion we are providing, and that was audited in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and governmental auditing standards as well. Also, amongst the package that we have here, we have a management letter that details what is also in our government auditing standards report, that we tested internal controls for the purposes of performing our audit, but we did not perform tests such to issue an opinion on internal control. Should we have found any issues in internal control that rose to the level of a material weakness or significant deficiency, we would have reported them. We found no such items to report. Beyond that, we do have a report to the board document here. I'm going to hit on a few of the high points from that. That is really a boilerplate document that we give to all of our audit clients. If there were any issues in the audit, we would express them in that document as well. We had no issues in the audit at all. Your team was really great to work with. They fully prepare the financial statements, and we were able to audit the financial statements without any significant adjustment. So it's really a great sign that your team can provide you detailed and necessary information throughout the year that can be relied upon based on that. In terms of what's in the reports of the board, we talk about the significant accounting policies being detailed in note 2 to the financial statements. There are no transactions entered into that there is a lack of authoritative guidance or consensus for, meaning that you have the policies in place that are required for the types of transactions you are performing. There are certain accounting estimates that are made in the performance of any financial statement. In your case, one of the major ones Raymond touched on is you do have a significant contingent liability in relation to the condemnations. We reviewed that. We reviewed any other significant estimates in the financial statements, found that the estimates were supported and deemed reasonable. We proposed no audit adjustments, had no disagreements with management. In fact, as I mentioned, they were a pleasure to work with. And we have provided a management representation letter that we will be obtaining to finalize the audit. And that along with just a subsequent disclosure discussion is really all that remains in terms of getting this audit finalized from our perspective. After your approval today, obviously. Are there any questions about the audit?
Not you. congratulations to management on the clean audit.
Thank you.
Is that it? Okay. All right. Thank you to our auditors, and thank you, Raymond. The next item on the agenda is a resolution which would recommend the Board of Directors accept the independent auditor's report on the auditor's financial statements of the corporations for the fiscal years ended June 30th, 2025 and 2024, and the issuance of such financial statements. Are there any additional questions regarding the financial statements?
No.
Hearing none, I'll call the roll for a vote. Mr. German?
In favor.
Ms. Liu?
In favor.
Mr. Bliss?
In favor.
Mr. Stern?
In favor.
And I vote in favor as well. The resolution is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the committee's charter. Pursuant to the Audit Committee Charter, Sections 3S and U, the committee is required to annually review and approve its charter. No changes are proposed at this time. Are there any questions?
No.
I'll now call the roll for a vote. Mr. Chairman?
In favor.
Ms. Liu?
In favor.
Mr. Bliss?
In favor.
Mr. Stern?
In favor.
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The resolution is hereby approved. The Audit Committee scheduled dates provides a guideline for the items to be addressed at the annual meetings of the Audit Committee. No changes are proposed. This is a review item and no vote is necessary. Are there any questions? If there's no further business before the committee, I'll call the roll for a vote to adjourn. Mr. German?
In favor.
Ms. Liu?
In favor.
Mr. Bliss?
In favor.
Mr. Stern?
In favor.
And I vote in favor of adjournment. The committee is here, this committee meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you for your participation. We move on to the Governance Committee meeting, which is chaired by Mr. Stern.
Good afternoon. I'm Michael Stern, Alternate Director for Controller Brad Lander and Chair of the Governance Committee. I'll now call to order a meeting of the Governance Committee. Daniel, could you please call the roll for attendance?
Jack Gia,
David Womack for Director GHA.
Brad Lander,
Michael Stern for Brad Lander.
Adrian Adams,
Hector German for Speaker Adams.
Adolfo Carrion Jr.,
Nate Bliss for the Deputy Mayor.
and Jeffrey Ross.
Yating Lu for DM Ross.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
The first item on the agenda is a resolution to approve the minutes of the committee's last meeting. The minutes have been circulated for the committee's review. Are there any comments or corrections? Hearing none, I'll call the roll for a vote. Mr. Womack, how do you vote?
In favor.
Ms. Liu, how do you vote?
In favor.
Mr. Bliss, how do you vote?
In favor.
Mr. German, how do you vote?
In favor.
And I vote in favor of the resolution. The resolution approving the minutes is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is a self-evaluation of the committee and a resolution which would authorize the presentation of the self-evaluation to the Board of Directors. Section 3G of the Governance Committee Charter requires the Governance Committee to conduct a self-evaluation of its functions annually. A report of the committee's actions taken in the past fiscal year is included in today's folders. The proposed resolution expresses the committee's opinion that it is functioning in a satisfactory manner consistent with its charter and authorizes the chair of the committee to present the result of this self-evaluation to the board. Are there any questions or comments? No, I'll now call the roll for a vote. Mr. Womack, how do you vote?
In favor.
Ms. Liu, how do you vote?
In favor.
Mr. Bliss, how do you vote?
In favor.
Mr. German?
In favor.
And I vote in favor of the resolution. The resolution is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is a review of the corporation's compensation and benefit expenses. As this is a review item, no vote will be taken. Section 3I of the Governance Committee Charter requires the Governance Committee to annually review this information. The information provided states that the corporation has no employees and describes the total compensation that the corporation reimburses to other entities for personal services provided to the corporation. Are there any questions? No. Hearing none, if there's no further business before the members, I will now call the roll for a vote to adjourn. Mr. Womack, how do you vote?
In favor.
Ms. Liu?
In favor.
Mr. Bliss?
In favor.
Mr. German?
In favor.
And I vote in favor of adjournment. Thank you for your participation. The meeting of the committee is hereby adjourned. We will now move on to the Board of Directors meeting, which is chaired by Mr. Womack.
Thank you, Michael. This is David Womack, Alternate Director for Budget Director GHA and Chair of Hudson Yards Infrastructure Corporation's Board of Directors. The meeting of the board is now called to order. Daniel, please call the roll.
Jack Gia,
David Womack for Director GHA.
Brad Lander,
Michael Stern for Controller Lander.
Adrian Adams. Hector German for Speaker Adams. Adolfo Carrion Jr.,
Nate Bliss for the Deputy Mayor.
Jeffrey Ross.
Yaking Lu for Dan Roth.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is a resolution to approve the minutes of the board's last meeting. The minutes have been circulated for the board's review. Are there any comments or corrections? I'll now call the roll for a vote. Mr. German?
In favor.
Ms. Lu?
In favor.
Mr. Bliss?
In favor.
Mr. Stern?
In favor.
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The resolution approved in the minutes are hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is a resolution which would accept the independent auditor's report on the audited financial statements for the fiscal years ended June 30th, 2025 and 2024, and authorization to release such financial statements. This action has been recommended by the Audit Committee. Are there any questions? Now call the roll for a vote. Mr. German?
In favor.
Ms. Lu?
In favor.
Mr. Bliss?
In favor.
Mr. Stern?
In favor.
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The resolution is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is the approval to consent to the IDA's amendment of the Hudson Yards Uniform Tax Exemption Policy. It has long been contemplated that the Hudson Yards UTEP would be amended to include the Western Rail Yards. The IDA seeks to proceed with such amendment at their upcoming November 18th board meeting, but may only do so after receiving written consent of HYIC. Pursuant to HYIC's indenture, HYIC may provide such consent upon a reasonable determination by the corporation that a proposed Hudson Yards UTEP amendment will facilitate the further commercial development of the project area. As you may know, in June of this year, the City Council approved the rezoning of the Western Rail Yards. In addition, as will be discussed in my President's report later in this meeting, the Council has passed a resolution which, if certain actions are taken, would permit HYIC to finance costs related to the development of Western Rail Yards. One of the steps required to permit HYIC to finance costs in the Western Rail Yards is that developers sign a lease or purchase agreement with an anchor tenant for a commercial development in the Western Rail Yards. Since marketing to find an anchor tenant requires more certainty regarding the anticipated tax burden on the site, it seems reasonable now to follow through on the long contemplated step to amend the Hudson Yards UTEP to expand Zone 3 to include the Western Rail Yards, giving the Western Rail Yards the same benefits available to adjacent properties currently in Zone 3. Given this context, Corporation's management believe an amendment to Hudson Yards UTEP to include the Western Rail Yards in Zone 3 will facilitate the further commercial development of the project area. The proposed resolution will authorize an officer of the corporation to provide the written consent necessary to allow the IDA to make such amendment. Are there any questions or comments on the proposed resolution?
Yes, the Controller's Office is voting in opposition to the resolution to amend the Hudson Yards UTEP area because insufficient information has been provided to support the proposal. To be clear, our office is certainly not opposed to dense, mixed-use, mixed-income development on the Western Rail Yard. In fact, the Controller's Office has long been supporting investments to expand the supply of housing, particularly affordable housing, office development, and open space. The office has previously praised the Hudson Yards project for, among other things, the flow of revenues transferred to the city's general fund. What troubles our office is the rushed process and lack of any reasonable estimate of the cost of the project borne by the people of New York City. While the developer contends that the investment will generate sufficient revenue to pay for itself, this board has seen neither a revenue estimate nor a cost estimate to demonstrate this contention. Based on the data at our disposal, the corporation's determination that the UTEP amendment would further commercial development in the project area is tautological and potentially misleading. Tautological because expanding the UTEP area by definition increases the probability that a project will apply for IDA benefits. Misleading because it can only be true under two conditions. One, development opportunities on the current UTEP area are substantially exhausted. And two, given that the MTA can provide the same tax benefits as IDA, development would not be feasible but for the city's involvement through IDA and eventually HYIC financing. For these reasons, we are voting no on the resolution to allow IDA to amend the Hudson Yards UTEP area.
Thank you, Mr. Stern. Are there any comments or questions?
I'll just note that I believe the action we are taking today has no bearing on the future project other than the specific question in front of us of the extension of the Zone 3 benefit, as indeed has been long contemplated, but do appreciate the controller's question.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? I'll now call the roll for a vote. Mr. German.
In favor.
Ms. Lou.
In favor.
Mr. Bliss.
In favor.
Mr. Stern.
Opposed?
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The resolution is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the ratification and amendment of the corporation's bond counsel agreement with Nixon Peabody. The corporation had an agreement for Nixon to serve as bond counsel, which expired on August 31st, 2025. Earlier this year, the corporation, in conjunction with the city and other related credit issuers, participated in a competitive procurement process for bond counsel services. Following that process, the corporation management recommends the corporation amend its previous agreement with Nixon to extend the term of the agreement through August 31st, 2026, for the same hourly fees as previously authorized by the board. Please refer to the resolution for the firm's hourly fees. Fees for future bond issuances will be negotiated and submitted to the board for approval. Are there any comments or questions on the proposed resolution?
No.
Hearing none, I'll call the roll for a vote. Mr. German.
In favor.
Ms. Lou.
In favor.
Mr. Bliss.
In favor.
Mr. Stern.
In favor?
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The resolution is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is a resolution which would authorize and verify the annual report for presentation to the corporation's members. Pursuant to Section 519 of the Not-for-Profit Corporation Law, pursuant to the law, the report provides certain information from members taken from the audited financial statements. Are there any questions? I'll now call the roll for a vote. Mr. German.
In favor.
Ms. Lou.
In favor.
Mr. Bliss.
In favor.
Mr. Stern.
In favor?
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The resolution is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the corporation's mission statement and completed measurement report. Pursuant to Section 2800 of the Public Authorities Law, the Board of Directors previously adopted a mission statement and performance measures, which are a means for the corporation to evaluate whether its performance and policies are consistent with its stated mission. Updates to the mission statement are proposed, and the measurement report has been completed. The proposed resolution would approve the amended mission statement and performance measures and authorize the corporation to publish the completed measurement report. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll call the roll for a vote. Mr. German.
In favor.
Ms. Lou.
In favor.
Mr. Bliss.
In favor.
Mr. Stern.
In favor?
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The resolution is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is approval of the corporation's investment guidelines. The corporation is required to annually review its investment guidelines. No changes to the investment guidelines are proposed at this time. Any questions? Call the roll for a vote. Mr. German.
In favor.
Ms. Lou.
In favor.
Mr. Bliss.
In favor.
Mr. Stern.
In favor?
And I vote in favor as well. The resolution is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is a resolution which would approve the corporation's investment report for fiscal year 2024. Pursuant, 2024 or 2025? 25. Just written. Oh. Pursuant to Section 2925(6) of the Public Authorities Law, the corporation is required to annually prepare and approve an investment report, which contains the investment guidelines, the independent audit of the investments, and investment income record of the corporation, and the list of fees, commissions, or other charges paid for investment services. Are there any questions or comments? I'll now call the roll for a vote. Mr. German.
In favor.
Ms. Lou.
In favor.
Mr. Bliss.
In favor.
Mr. Stern.
In favor?
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The resolution is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is a presentation by the corporation's governance committee chair, who will present the results of the committee's self-evaluation. Mr. Stern.
Thank you. At the earlier meeting of the governance committee, the committee conducted a self-evaluation. Upon review of the committee's actions in the previous fiscal year, the committee found that it was conducting itself in a satisfactory manner consistent with its charter.
Thank you, Mr. Stern. The final item on today's agenda is a report of the president. As president of the corporation, I would like to take this time to provide updates on phase 2 of the park and the western rail yards. With respect to phase 2 of the park, a consultant report for a value engineering exercise is due back early in October. Upon receipt, HYIC and its design consultants will review the list of recommendations from the report. After such review, HYDC will present updated budget recommendations and project recommendations and a budget. HYDC expects to advance the final design once the value engineering process is completed. HYIC's management will continue to update the board of directors when additional relevant information is available on this matter. With respect to the Western Rail Yards, as mentioned earlier in this meeting, on June 30th, 2025, the City Council passed a resolution which amends the pilot agreement between the City Council and the Mayor to permit HYIC to finance certain improvements on the Western Rail Yards. Such amendment is effective subject to additional future actions, including but not limited to the Mayor signing an amended pilot agreement, the developer signing a lease or purchase agreement with an anchor tenant, and a determination from HYIC Board of Directors consistent with the corporation's bylaws that projected revenues to HYIC from the development over the Western Rail Yard, including from the initial commercial building, will be available and sufficient to pay projected debt service on future HYIC borrowing related to the Western Rail Yard project, not including debt service costs associated with the financing of a K-8 public school to be built in the Western Rail Yard. The timing and details of any transaction to finance work on the Western Rail Yard, if it were to occur, are not known at this time. We will continue to update you with additional information as it becomes available. Are there any questions?
Just a note of congratulations to the team for all the progress on the park, and a note of anticipatory congratulations for the work ahead on Western Rail Yards.
Thank you. If there is no further business before the board, I'll call the roll for a vote to adjourn. Mr. German.
In favor.
Ms. Liu.
In favor.
Mr. Bliss.
In favor.
Mr. Stern.
In favor.
And I vote in favor of adjournment. Thank you all. We will now resume the meeting of the members.
Okay. We're back.
Light, yeah.
So close.
All right, almost done. Okay, we will now reconvene the meeting of the members. Daniel, can you call the roll one more time?
Thank you. Jock Gia,
David Womack for Director GI.
Brad Lander,
Michael Stern for Controller Lander.
Adrian Adams,
Dexter German for Speaker Adams.
Alfred Carion Jr.,
Nate Bliss for the Deputy Mayor.
Jeffrey Roth.
Yating Lu for Dan Roth.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. The final item on today's agenda is a resolution which would accept the annual report to the members. Section 519 of the New York Not-for-Profit Corporation Law requires the Board of Directors of not-for-profit corporations present an annual report relating to the financial conditions of such corporations to the members of such corporations at their annual meeting. The Board of Directors have authorized the release of this report to the members. The proposed resolution would accept the annual report. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, call the roll for a vote. Mr. German.
In favor.
Ms. Liu.
In favor.
Mr. Bliss.
In favor.
Mr. Stern.
In favor.
And I vote in favor of the proposed resolution. The resolution is hereby approved. If there is no further business before the members, I will now call the roll for a vote to adjourn. Mr. German.
In favor.
Ms. Liu.
In favor.
Mr. Bliss.
In favor.
Mr. Stern.
In favor.
And I vote in favor of adjournment. Thank you all for your participation. The meeting of the members is hereby adjourned, and that concludes today's meeting of the Hudson Yards Infrastructure Corporation.
Great. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.